let's start with some of the items I picked up. I picked up 2 plantains. I picked up some organic pink lady apples. These are actually from Walmart. Theirs have been better than Aldi lately. And I also picked up some organic zucchini. I love to put that in that meal idea that I showed a couple of weeks ago. I have just 1 onion, a rutabaga. I've been putting this in our stew every single week. Really, really like it. And I have some organic dark sweet cherries, some organic carrots. I just kept pretty much local this time. I picked up some of the organic brown rice, gluten-free pasta. I love this Jovial brand. I've been using it for years. They actually test for glyphosate, so I really, really like that brand. And I have some Siete grain-free taco shells. Sometimes you just want ground beef and a hard taco shell, and these are the closest to the real thing that I found. We do eat corn here and there, the organic one, but that's a great option if you're grain-free. I love this 2-ingredient Thai Simple Kitchen coconut milk. This is what I actually put in my coffee. Love it because it's really, really similar to creamer. And then I picked up 2 of these Harvest Land no antibiotic ground chicken. They didn't have the organic ground turkey. And I also picked up some of the grass-fed and grass-finished, excuse my hand in the camera, from Sam's Club. I've been really enjoying getting this one. It's $18 in my area for 3 pounds. And then I picked up their pasture-raised eggs, which have also been really, really good. Really bright orange yolks. And in my fridge, I forgot I put up the organic produce that I got from Aldi. So I got 2 heads of broccoli. I picked up some organic grapes for my son's snacks. I picked up the 2-pack of the whole birds. These are the whole roasters from Sam's Club, and it's in that bag. I didn't want to take it out and drip it. And then I have some organic kale and a big thing of the coleslaw mix. That's always good for just egg roll in a bowl. I picked up a couple of packs of butternut squash. This is the organic one from Aldi. I've been loving getting that. I'll share a recipe with that soon. And that is what I have in the freezer section. I'm going to go ahead and close all of that up. And then I picked up some organic basmati rice for my 4-minute Instant Pot rice. Game changer. And then I picked up the small bag of the Hass avocados, a giant butternut squash. I went to just a couple of local stores, and then I picked up 2 of the acorn squash. It's fall, and I just love squash, any kind of squash. And then 2 of the eggplants. Next up, I'm going to show you what I do. This is what I do. I have my earbuds in. I have some music. Sometimes I have a podcast today. I had some really good nostalgic tunes. Does anybody else do that? And you just dance and you sing to your heart's content while you're putting together food in your kitchen. And I am someone who speaks with their hands, and I don't know what I was doing, but I am making some of the containers of broth, the meat stock that I like to keep in the fridge. And I also freeze some, and this is perfect if I'm going to make a soup, if I'm going to make chicken pot pie, or if I am just going to have that to flavor things like rice. So I'm going ahead and putting that in these jars. This is what it looks like as a soup. I ate some of it for lunch. And then I have all of this pulled chicken. So we ate it for lunch. Then we have all this pulled chicken for a host of different things. And then I have these 3 large containers of, they're just ball mason jars of this delicious stock. So I'm going to put 2 in the freezer. I'm going to put 1 in the fridge. And then if I want to flavor something, if I'm steaming vegetables, I like to use that. Next up, I'm going to make these really quick and easy and delicious chicken sausage patties. And I'm just going to preheat my oven to 375, put some parchment down, and I am going to add this to a bowl. These are the seasonings that I'm using: sage, thyme, fennel, some salt. I'm mixing that up. You can also add some garlic powder in here. And then I'm just going to add that into the bowl. I'm going to mix it all and incorporate everything in. I always like to put plastic gloves on. I go through like a box of these things every month. I actually like the vinyl ones better, but these are just easy to take off, and I'm never mad that I have them on hand because I don't like touching meat. So the next thing I have is some avocado oil. You could use any oil or fat that you like here that can stand up to a high temperature, because that's what's going to give sausage its flavor. It's going to be all those delicious seasonings, and it's also going to be fat. So that's what's going to give it that juicy. You could also pan fry this in some avocado oil, but I like to just make a huge pan of it. I'm going to mix all of my ingredients together, and then I'm going to make little sausage patties. And this is going to make a ton of sausage patties. I also do this with ground turkey. That's another option. It's just 2 pounds. You could also cut it in half. I'll put the ingredients below, or I will put it on a blog post. So I just like to use this little scoop, and then I'm going to add that to our unbleached parchment paper. And once I get it completely, I actually ended up using 2 pans for this because it makes that much, and then I just pat it out so I don't have to touch this. You could also use the back of a spoon to do that. Just wet it a little bit and press it with the back of a spoon. That works too. I'm going to put this in the oven at 375 degrees for about 25 minutes, and this is what it looks like. It's juicy, it's tender, they're delicious. Next up, we're going to work on some of the things that I like to bake for the week, and these are some of the ingredients that we're going to use. So I'm just going to make a paleo almond flour, just pumpkin spice kind of bread thing, or you can make it into muffins. And my can opener was just out of control here. It just took the whole label off. I have some eggs, I have some avocado oil, I have honey, I have all the ingredients that I need. I'm going to go into this big, I just buy a giant bag of almond flour. I get it from Sam's Club, or I get it from Costco, or I get it from, I also have this date sugar that I've really been enjoying. So it's just real whole milled dates that have been dried first. And I like it a lot because it gives it kind of like a caramel flavor. And it also keeps me from adding too much additional sugar. I'm adding some aluminum-free, gluten-free baking soda because I ran out of baking powder. If you ever do, all you have to do is take some salt and some baking soda, and that's really all that there is to it. So some cinnamon that I get from Costco, I'm going to add some of that. All the spices that you like. I'm going to add ginger. You could also just use pumpkin pie spice if you prefer that. I have a similar recipe to this that I'll share below that I put on the blog probably a couple of years ago, and I think there's a video on the channel as well. I'm just going to mix all these ingredients together, and this is what it looks like. I'm just spreading it out because I'm going to use muffin tins for something else. That's what it looks like. I'm going to pop that in the oven while I work on some other stuff. This is just getting us set up and ready for the week, and I love to go ahead and do that. Next up, we're going to do banana. So that was our pumpkin. Now we're going to do banana, and this time I'm actually going to use coconut flour instead of almond flour. They don't rise as much when you do this because coconut is just it just takes a lot of eggs. If you've ever worked with coconut flour, it's super absorbent and it requires a lot of eggs. So it's not going to rise that much, but they're really moist and delicious. I'm just adding a little touch of honey this time. I'm adding some apple cider vinegar in there to be our raising agent, along with a little bit more of that date sugar that I really, really like. You don't want to use that in something where you want it to be soft. This is what it looks like when it comes out. I'm sorry, that you don't want to be liquid. See, they don't rise that much, but they are really, really tasty, really moist, and it gives us an alternative because I don't want everything to be made out of almond flour. And then I took a couple of pieces of this. It was pretty good. And that's going to be ready for all of us for breakfast. We like to have some sort of chicken sausage or turkey sausage or something like that. And this makes 36 chicken sausages. So all 3 of us, we are good for breakfast for the week. And sometimes into Saturday morning, we'll even have extras left over. And sometimes I'll just have that as a snack. So I'll give my son a snack plate, and I'll give him that. I might make it with some eggs. For his snack, I might give him this and that. We are prepped and ready for the week ahead. Until next time, your life matters. What you do with it matters. So what will you steward well?